Some gacha games are all about strategy, collecting, and fun gameplay. Others are packed with over-the-top outfits, cheeky dialogue, or full-blown waifu worship. But the ones that balance all of this are worth the grind. With the explosion of the genre, I've weeded through the smoldering debris to bring you 10 must-play gacha games absolutely bursting with fan service. It's time for the daily pull, so let's get into it. Kicking things off with the Gacha GOAT, and one of the first games to show the quality possible in the genre. When Genshin Impact launched in 2020, many assumed it was anime Breath of the Wild, but over the years, it became clear just how special the game is. This free-to-play action RPG from Hoyoverse mixes gorgeous visuals, a massive world, and real-time combat with gacha mechanics. And somehow, it all works. For the most part. The sprawling fantasy setting is absolutely breathtaking. From the windswept hills to electric neon-lit cities, every region feels distinct and alive. Exploration is genuinely rewarding thanks to clever environmental puzzles, hidden chests, and well-placed world events. And with more regions being added over time, the world is constantly evolving. Combat is a real-time elemental dance, swapping between party members on the fly to chain reactions like freezing enemies with cryo after soaking them with hydro feels dynamic and satisfying. And the character roster is massive, full of great designs, charming personalities, and each with their own unique playstyle. Now the gacha system is both a blessing and a curse. Pulling for your favorite waifu or husbando is exciting, until the pity system feels like it's pitying your wallet. While you can play through most of the content without spending a dime, the temptation is always there, and the drop rates are as stingy as ever. And that's true for Hoyoverse in general. Now they do support Genshin with constant events, updates, and new characters. Some events are fantastic, and others feel like mini chores. The stamina system still limits how much high-tier loot you can grind daily, which can be frustrating for long-term players. Though, Genshin Impact is more than just a pretty face. It's a polished, ever-expanding world, packed with content, charming characters, and a dangerously addictive loop. It's not perfect. The gacha and daily systems can wear you down, but for a free game, it's shockingly high quality, and easy to lose hundreds of hours in. Moving on to a game that seems like the devs asked, how far can we push fan service before someone says something? And the answer is pretty damn far. But beneath Nikke, Goddess of Victory's bouncy animations and skin-tight armor is a refreshingly solid third-person cover shooter RPG with amazing visuals, smooth controls, and wait for it, a genuinely emotional story. You command a squad of android soldiers called Nikkes against a mysterious mechanical threat known as the Rapture. You tap to aim, hold to shoot, and swap between characters to manage their skills and burst combos. It's simple, fast-paced, and visually satisfying, especially with each Nikke's flashy ultimates and exaggerated animations. You know what I'm talking about. Combat gets deeper over time, with character synergy, weapon types, elemental encounters, and timing all factoring into success, especially in boss fights. Plus, there's a base building system, expeditions, and an idle reward system making progression steady even if you're not grinding non-stop. This is where Nikke really surprises. Bond episodes let you dive into each Nikke's personal story, which range from heartwarming to heartbreaking to completely unhinged. And yes, some are very, very thirsty, but in a way that knows exactly what it's doing. The over-the-shoulder view emphasizes the assets of every character, and the character designs are just about perfect. As a gacha game, you should expect a lot of banner hopping, limited units, and currency grinding. The rates are decent, pity exists, and free players can definitely make progress, but the most powerful Nikkes are often locked behind time-limited banners. Whale territory if you want everything, but free-to-play friendly if you're patient and selective. Nikke Got Us a Victory is more than just eye candy. It's a well-made, emotionally engaging shooter with a surprising amount of heart. Yes, the fanservice is loud, proud, and everywhere, but it doesn't carry the game. It complements a legitimately strong package.
I will protect you, Commander! Shall we? Let's get this party started! We need to fire straight ahead! Together! Reload. Hang in there, Commander.
Next up is Valkyrie Connect, a game that quietly built a loyal fanbase over the years, blending classic Norse-inspired fantasy with flashy anime visuals and a heavy dose of collectible fanservice. Developed by A-Team, the game has remained a steady favorite in the hero collector scene, thanks to its approachable gameplay loop and ever-expanding cast of colorful characters. Valkyrie Connect is a real-time party battler where you build a squad of heroes from a massive roster. Seriously, it's almost too big to handle these days.
That's what she said.
You then send your squad into auto battles where timing your special skills is key. Combat is fast and full of spectacle, with characters unleashing insane ultimates with flashy animations that fill the screen. It's the kind of game designed for both casual players and min-maxers who want to optimize their teams for endless streams of events, raids, and PvP modes. But let's get to the real draw, the fan service. Valkyrie Connect leans hard into character collecting, with a roster packed full of heroes, ranging from Valkyries and elves to my favorite, catgirls. And there's always some crossover characters from other popular games and anime. If you're a fan of crossovers, this game's got you covered. The designs are clearly for the waifu crew, with seasonal swimsuit events, wedding dresses, and alternate versions that crank up the eye candy while offering new abilities. And look, if you want a power fantasy along with your fan service, this game delivers in spades. On the downside, it's very much a gacha grind. Progression can hit a wall without pumping real money in, and while it's free to play friendly early on, the late game really wants you to pull out your wallet. Valkyrie Connect is an addictive, colorful, and fanservice heavy RPG that knows exactly what its audience wants. Moving on to a game that a lot of you recommended, and I have to tell you, I understand why. Action Taimanin is a wild, unapologetic blend of hack-and-slash action, anime storytelling, and very generous doses of fanservice. Based on the infamous Taimanin franchise, which originally lived in the adult visual novel space, this game tones things down a bit, while still leaning hard into its core appeal. Flashy combat, badass ninjas, and beautifully rendered characters wearing outfits that defy physics. But come on, you're not here for realism. You're here for hack-and-slash brawling, where your demon-slaying ninja babes slice and dice their way through hordes of enemies using combos, special moves, and ultimate abilities. The combat is fast and arcadey, not super deep, but satisfying enough when you're chaining together flashy attacks and dodging demonic death blasts. Each playable Taimanin, of which there are many, has their own weapons, fighting style, and special abilities. Each character is heavily stylized, blending futuristic ninja armor with, let's call them, bold fashion choices. The environments are a bit repetitive, and the level design is mostly corridor brawls and arenas, but the game makes up for it with flair. If you're here for aesthetics, you won't be disappointed. The story is anime chaos in the best way. Evil corporations, demonic incursions, cyber ninjas, and ancient conspiracies. The gacha system is mostly for support characters, gear, and event units. You can earn premium currency regularly through gameplay, and the game is generous with events, login bonuses, and limited time banners. Most characters are unlockable through grinding or events, and there's enough content to keep both free and paying players engaged. Action Taimanin is flashy, fast, and full of anime absurdity, with enough depth to keep you hacking away between outfit drops and character unlocks. It's not trying to reinvent the genre. It's just trying to have a good time, and maybe show some thigh while doing it. If you're looking for serious action RPG mechanics or deep storytelling, this won't be your jam. But if you want demon-slaying ninja waifus with a side of chaos and cheesecake, then welcome to New Tokyo. Next up is Azure Lane. Azure Lane is one of those games that you can't forget. Because where else are you commanding anime girls who are also anthropomorphized World War II warships in fast-paced naval battles? I'm freaking serious. It sounds ridiculous, and it absolutely is. But behind the fan service and the insane premise is a surprisingly polished, generous, and content-rich side-scrolling gacha game that's still going strong years after launch. Azure Lane mixes side-scrolling shooter action with light RPG and gacha mechanics. You build fleets composed of ship girls, based on real historical warships, and send them into missions where they auto-fire while you manually dodge torpedoes and enemy fire. It's fast, fun, and just the right amount of chaotic. Combat isn't deep on the level of hardcore tactical games, but there's still plenty of strategy in how you build your fleets. Now, Azure Lane knows exactly what it's doing. The game has a massive roster of ship girls, each with unique designs, personalities, and voice lines. There's a lot to do, and the game is refreshingly generous. It gives out premium currency regularly, the gacha rates are reasonable, and you can grind for most top-tier units with enough patience. Bonding with characters even unlocks marriage mechanics, which sounds wild, but perfectly fits into Azure Lane's over-the-top charm. While the story isn't why most people start playing, Azure Lane has actually built a solid universe over time. The factions mirror real-world naval alliances with a sci-fi twist, and the writing ranges from lighthearted and goofy to surprisingly emotional and philosophical in later arcs. A spin-off called Azure Lane Crosswave came out in 2019, bringing the naval waifus to console and PC. This is a different game, but set in the same universe. Whether you're here for the naval warfare or just the waifus, the game gives you a lot to like. The premise is clearly not for everyone, but for those who get on board, we'll find one of the most stylish and rewarding gacha games out there. Moving on to Blue Archive, one of those games that sneaks up on you. At first glance, it looks like your typical anime game, full of cute schoolgirls with guns, and to be fair, it absolutely is. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a game with strong tactical gameplay, memorable characters, and a story that swings between goofy slice-of-life chaos and emotional end-of-the-world drama. To boil it down, it's a real-time tactical RPG with auto-battle elements. You assemble a team of students, each with unique skills and roles, and guide them across small-scale maps to eliminate enemies. Positioning, timing, and team synergy all plays a big role, especially as the difficulty ramps up in later stages and raids. Each character has an EX skill you activate with a shared energy meter, so deciding who to use and when becomes part of the strategy. It's not the deepest system, but it's far more involved than the average auto-battler, and rewarding enough to keep you engaged. Now, Blue Archive loves its characters, from bubbly cheerleaders with rocket launchers to goth hackers with anxiety issues. The cast is huge, colorful, and full of personality. Every student belongs to a school, and each school has its own culture, chaos, and drama. And yes, the fan service is absolutely here, but it's all wrapped in absurd charm. Drop rates are fair, and the game includes a pity system that makes getting your favorite girl eventually possible. Plus, the devs at Nexon Games have built a solid reputation for being generous during events, giving out pulls, resources, and cosmetics regularly. Progression can be slow for free players, especially when it comes to upgrading skills and gear, but it's manageable. Though if you like getting in the weeds, you can go deeper with optimizing gear, formation comps, and raid scores. Blue Archive might look like your average cute girl gacha game, but it blends fan service, tactics, and heartfelt storytelling in a way that few other games do, making it absolutely worth a try. The next game isn't just a sequel, it's practically a full reimagining. While the original Brown Dust, called Brave 9, was a cult favorite among tactical RPG fans, Brown Dust 2 shakes things up with its presentation, traditional turn-based combat, and a clever cartridge system that lets the game shift genres like a playable anthology. The result? One of the most visually unique and mechanically interesting gacha RPGs out right now. The first thing that'll grab you are the visuals, going all in on a pixel art meets anime aesthetic, with rich backgrounds, fluid animations, and character sprites that pop with personality. It's got those nostalgic SNES RPG vibes, but layered with modern lighting, camera work, and effects. Think Octopath Traveler with more waifus. Unlike the grid-based tactics of the first game, Brown Dust 2 goes for classic turn-based JRPG-style combat. You bring a team of characters into battle, use skills with cooldowns or charge mechanics, and exploit enemy weaknesses. It's easy to pick up, but has a good amount of depth once you start unlocking new characters and synergies. Instead of a single storyline, Brown Dust 2 uses a cartridge system. Each one is like a different game within the game, with its own story arc, art style, and even gameplay twists. The writing is solid, characters are memorable, and the scenarios often subvert expectations. It feels like you're collecting RPGs, not just units. Like most gacha games, you'll progress faster if you spend real money. But still, for a free player, the game is very doable, with smart team building and patience. The devs have also been fairly generous, with launch rewards and login bonuses to help you get started. Brown Dust 2 is a standout entry in the gacha RPG space. It combines traditional turn-based mechanics with a bold presentation, unique storytelling structure, and a clear love for the genre. Whether you're here for the tactics, the waifus, or the pixel-perfect visuals, there's a lot to love. And even more to come if the devs keep this momentum. What happens when a stylish action RPG, a bleak sci-fi world, and buttery smooth combat all meld together? You get Punishing Grey Raven, a game that punches way above its weight. It may not be as well known as those from Hoyoverse, but PGR is arguably one of the best action games on mobile. And with a growing global fanbase, it's becoming a cult favorite for those who crave speed, skill, and edge. The star of the game is definitely the combat. Think Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but with a mobile-friendly interface. You control a team of cybernetic warriors called constructs, swapping between them mid-combat to string together combos, dodge enemy attacks, and unleash flashy ultimates. In the boss fights? Hell yeah! These are some of the most intense and visually jaw-dropping in any mobile game, period. PGR's story takes place in a dystopian future where humanity has been driven to near extinction by a technovirus called the Punishing. The plot starts simple, but over time it dives deep into themes like identity, memory, sacrifice, and what it means to be human. It's dark, melancholic, and surprisingly thoughtful for a game full of cyber waifus. And yes, it leans into the stylish anime aesthetic hard, but it does so with taste. The gacha system is fairly generous. Top-tier units have a pity system, rates are decent, and the game gives out a good amount of premium currency just by playing. Grinding materials for upgrades can get repetitive, but it's nowhere near as predatory as other gacha games. There's a good rhythm between story, events, and side content. Punishing Grey Raven is a masterclass in how to make a high-speed, high-style action RPG for mobile. It looks great, plays better, and delivers just enough depth in the story and character design to keep you emotionally invested. Whether you're here for the cyberpunk dystopia, the skill-based combat, or just the slick aesthetics, this is a must-play for action game fans. Moving to the latest entry by the Gacha King, Zenless Zone Zero is Hoyoverse's slick anime action. If Genshin Impact is fantasy and Honkai Star Rail is a space opera, then Triple Z is your neon-drenched cyberpunk fever dream. It's fast, fashionable, and so confident in its style that even its menus feel like they belong in a Persona game. But beneath all the flair, there's a surprisingly satisfying action RPG with tight combat, a wild cast, and just enough weirdness to keep you hooked. The game takes place in New Eridu, a post-apocalyptic city surrounded by reality-warping anomalies known as the Hollows. The vibe is a unique mix of dystopia, slice of life, and sci-fi weirdness. You control a team of 3 characters and can swap between them mid-fight to chain combos, build meters, and pull off devastating tag team finishers. It's a rhythm-heavy system that rewards timing and aggression, much closer to character action games than Hoyoverse's other titles. The cast is pure personality overload. You've got cyborg soldiers, street punks, idol twins, sentient beasts, and more, all with killer animations and distinct playstyles. And yes, there's plenty of fan service. As a Hoyoverse game, the gacha system won't be nearly as generous as some others. You roll for character and equipment, with a pity system and limited banners. Rates are in line with Genshin and Star Rail, so not great, but manageable if you're strategic. The game is generous early on, and free players can build strong teams without spending. But it's not just about the gacha system. It's a full-on sensory experience with incredible gameplay meat on its bones. Our last game flew under the radar even for gacha game fans, but absolutely worth checking out. Snowbreak, Containment Zone is what happens when you throw sci-fi shooter mechanics, gacha RPG elements, and anime-stylized operators into a frozen post-apocalyptic blender. It's a bold attempt to mix third-person gunplay with an addictive character collection and upgrading loop. It delivers enough cool moments to earn a spot on the radar for fans of stylish shooters. This world is cold, hostile, and loaded with sci-fi lore, from corporate conspiracies to rogue AIs. Combat is where Snowbreak sets itself apart. It's a cover shooter where you control one operator at a time, duck behind barriers, aim down sights, and switch between your trio of characters mid-mission. Each character, called manifestations, use different weapon types, sniper rifles, SMGs, shotguns, and has unique abilities that add a layer of tactics. Boss fights in particular can be tense and flashy, with big arenas and bullet hell vibes. Visually, this game is downright gorgeous. The icy environments, slick UI, and character designs scream premium production. There's a lot of leveling for characters, weapons, skill trees, and gear. It's not overwhelming, but it is grindy. Fortunately, stamina isn't too restrictive, and the daily loop is manageable compared to other mobile RPGs. Gacha rates are decent, with a pity system in place and regular events that offer chances to get strong units. Snowbreak Containment Zone is one of the boldest blends of third-person shooter and gacha mechanics on the market. It's not perfect, but when it works, it really works. With its slick presentation, consistently engaging combat, and steady stream of waifus with weapons, it's a frozen world worth stepping into, especially if you want your mobile games with a bit more bang. Well, there you go, some of the fanservice heavy gacha games that you should check out. So now I'd love to hear from you. Are you a fan of gacha games or hate them to your core? And what games did I miss? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like and of course subscribe. And if you want a list of the best M-rated RPGs, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.